Hey, my name is Dave. I just started playing disc golf just 2 months ago, and first round was obviously atrocious, but I was able to, whittle my scores down from plus 16 to plus 5 to plus 1, and just playing rounds almost even par in just 2 months. So this channel is all about how I was able to do that, how you can improve your game and just having a good time along the way, because I started disc golf because I needed a sport. I've been playing sports my entire life, and I needed a sport where I could just have an outlet and play with other people and meet new people too, and disc golf has been, for me, the exact puzzle piece to my life that I needed, and the piece of competitiveness and friendship along the way that I've needed too. So I started playing rounds instead of just going out and practicing disc golf because I wanted my biggest weaknesses and most consistencies to show up. And what I found was that I was consistently having to shoot about 150 feet out from the basket. You can see the basket straight through here. And I was really struggling with that distance because of the approach shot. Now, I want to get approach shots as close as possible so that I won't really have to putt a far distance to save par, make a birdie, or even get up and down for a bogey. And also what I found was that an approach shot is your most natural form of throwing a disc or a frisbee, whatever you want to call it. So basically what I found was whatever grip that I thought worked best was the most consistent here. And I know we do like X steps a lot and run ups a lot, but with approach shots, basically all you have to do is set your feet and have the most natural throw. Now I'll show you how to set your feet in just a second, but basically all you have to do is have a pretty consistent grip. I like to use the fan grip for my approach shots. Let me get the blue disc so my fingers show up here. So an approach shot, basically I have a grip like this with my thumb on the top just resting about an inch inside of the lip of the disc, and I have my finger right on the edge. Whether you have a disc with a lip or a bead, it doesn't really matter. I always just put my finger right there. I found that this grip gives me the most control and consistency when throwing approach shots. So basically you just have to get your grip right, line it up, and toss it. And you can get pretty close to the basket just right off the bat. Now there are a couple of things that I think you should keep in mind if you want to get absolutely parked right next to the basket so you don't have to worry about making the long putts. Now what I love about disc golf is you can always get better. There are always ways to improve your game, and that's why I started Birdie Vibes, was to bring you along the journey of how I'm getting better and how you can use what I'm learning to get better too. So if you're into that, subscribe to the channel. If you're getting a lot of value out of this video, hit the like button and definitely comment with what the strongest part of your disc golf game is. So feet alignment here is pretty standard to what you would end up in a run up or a X step. So what I found to be the most consistent to get closer to the basket and lower my scores is coming up with a stance that resembled that most closely and having my front foot perpendicular to the basket with my other foot at an angle back here. That gives me the most accurate throw because it's what I'm most used to when I follow through like that. Now I do want to talk about throwing motion and arm alignment, because obviously we want to aim and get the disc out towards the basket as much as possible. But what I see a lot of people doing, what I actually did at first, that resulted in wild inconsistencies with throwing it close to the basket, was I was trying to mimic the same motion as I was when I was doing a run-up throw off the tee box. So I was basically aiming to the basket and coming all the way back with a reach back and going. And that resulted in, again, wild inconsistencies with distances and how far left and right I was going. So yes, you can do that. You can line it up, have a little bit of a comeback, but basically what you want to try to do is mimic what your disc does. So typically if you're right hand backhand, your disc is going to drift a little bit to the left. So that's what I found to work most often with my throwing, is just coming back a little bit and then bringing my disc through and releasing at a slight angle and just having that right to left curve in the air. And that's 1 foot from the basket. So as you can see, all of these approach shots that I did were about 20 feet from the basket, and that's easy to make or get close to with a putt. hey, if you want to see what discs I'm using in the field and which ones I recommend, hit this playlist right here that is going to take you through what discs I recommend and their flight paths.